Hello and welcome to our first online presentation ever. In 1997, Paul de Gay and Stuart Hall introduced the theory of the circuit of culture as a means of analyzing cultural artifacts. The circuit focuses on the relationship between economy and culture without neglecting the connection between production and consumption. The circuit of culture can be applied to any cultural artifact or text.
The circuit of culture consists of 5 stations which are dependent on the others for their existence. In other words, none of them can be studied in isolation. They are linked together through articulation, thus making up the circuit of culture. Articulation connects the isolated elements and turns them into a flowing circuit.
The 5 stations of the circuit of culture are representation, identity, production, consumption, and regulation.
Representation. Representation is an important part of identity. Through representation, the intended identity of a company or individual is constructed. Representation creates meaning, which is not static but subject to change.
Identity. Identity is constructed through representation. Since it mirrors consumption, it is internalized by the individual person. In other words, in order to successfully sell products, consumers have to identify with them, and with the company's identity in general. Therefore, we can conclude that identity is linked with consumption.
Consumption. Consumption is dependent on production because what is not produced cannot be sold. Companies and individuals strive to have their identity consumed. However, this is not always successful because consumers possess their own interpretative system, which can alter the way the intended identity is conceived.
Production. Objects are encoded with meaning, that is, identity, during production. The process of production is completed at the point of consumption, where meaning is decoded.
Regulation. Regulation is the means by which cultural activities are controlled. It includes both formal regulations, for example laws, and informal regulations, for example social values and expectations. As with all circuits, the circuit of culture does not have a beginning or an end. An analysis can start at any station. However, in order to get a thorough analysis, each station has to be considered and none can be excluded. Each part of the circuit is interlinked with the next part. In our project, we're comparing pro videos with amateur videos. We chose 2 videos for each category. For the pro videos, we chose a video made by H&M. It's to be found on the H&M blog also, I believe, and it's about summer in Copenhagen. For the amateur video, we chose a video by Alexandra XO. And it's a video in which she talks about summer trends of 2011. So the first major difference that we noticed is that in the professional video there are 3 people talking. It's 3 Danish fashion bloggers, whereas in the amateur video it's only 1 person talking, namely Alexandra. Another difference is that the professional bloggers are being followed around by cameramen. It's very professionally done, whereas in the amateur blog she's just kind of talking in a webcam in her room, kind of like I'm doing right now. So therefore we have a difference in location. In the professional video we see different shots of the city of Copenhagen, we see different locations, we have daytime and nighttime, and we kind of follow the bloggers around going in different stores. Whereas in Alexandra's video, it's just always one location. It's daytime, we're in her bedroom, we're not going anywhere. That's where we are. Another thing that we noticed is that the speakers of the pro video refer to different stores. They're kind of little stores in Copenhagen, it seems like. They kind of seem like indie stores. And the amateur blogger Alexandra refers to more big chains like Forever 21 and H&M. So there's a difference in where they shop. So obviously the bloggers in H&M have a higher budget of shopping, and Alexandra tries to keep it more cheap and affordable. Another difference we noticed is that the professional bloggers only talk about fashion, whereas Alexandra, she talks about her private life. In the beginning of the video, she talks a little bit about how she's happy that the school year is over. She's happy about summer. She's excited for finals and stuff like that. And yes, another difference is of course the length. The professional video, of course, time is money, so it's only a little longer than 3 minutes, and Alexandra's video is 10 minutes. There's also a big difference in content. The professional H&M blog actually has very few content, and they focus more on pictures. They show the fashion instead of talking about it. It's just like very few tips of the blogger, and Alexandra provides her audience with a lot of tips. She talks a lot. She fills the whole 10 minutes with just talking, and she also shows fashion, but she shows it very kind of amateur-like in a little box on the right side of her screen. And in the H&M blog we actually see the fashion, we see them try it on and stuff like that.
Now let's move on to the similarities of the two videos. Both videos are about fashion, and they address the trends of the 80s, especially the color orangey red. Additionally, both videos were uploaded in spring 2011, and they have approximately the same amount of views, namely 46,000. There's also a reference to H&M in the two videos. However, while the girl in the amateur video only talks about H&M, the other video was produced for the store. Concerning the language style, both videos are similar, because the language that is used is informal and conversational. Another similarity is the fact that both the pro and the amateur video use visual examples to show the audience what they're talking about. While the girl in the amateur video uses little boxes to show the products, the three girls in the pro video actually go inside the stores.
So these were some differences that we found, and now we would like you to help us kind of see how we can apply it to the circuit of culture. So I hope you can all help us. Please leave us some comments in the blog, and have a great day.